Well. You ever feel the world breathing down your neck like it's trying to swallow you whole? Every glance a blade, every whisper a noose. That's the thing about this place. It doesn't need bars to make a prison. It just needs enough people pointing fingers, and you're already guilty. They think they know you. They don't. They know the story they told themselves at 3 a.m. while sipping lies like cheap whiskey. They see what they want: a villain, a monster, a freak to throw stones at so they can feel clean. And oh, I let them. Because while they're busy building the gallows, I'm building something else entirely. Pain? That's just the ink I write with. Rage? That's the rhythm in my step. And every time they tried to break me, I took the pieces and made sharper weapons. You don't survive by being innocent. You survive by being unkillable, by letting the fire consume you until the flames become part of your skin. I've been hunted, followed, watched for years. And yet, here I stand, laughing. Not because I think it's funny, but because I know something they don't. You can track a man all you want, but when he learns to move in the dark, the hunter becomes the prey. So go ahead, keep looking for the man you think you buried. Just remember, when I crawl out of that grave, I'm not coming back for revenge. I'm coming back for the throne. They didn't cuff my hands. They cuffed my name. And oh, that's a different kind of prison. No walls, no keys, just whispers that slice sharper than any blade. You ever felt your name rot in the mouths of strangers? Felt the air change when you walk in a room? That's not paranoia, darling. That's the sound of your reputation being lowered into a coffin while you're still breathing. They didn't lock me up. No, they paraded me like a trophy, like a warning. The real sentence? It's not years. It's not bars. It's watching life keep moving without you. Watching people who once shook your hand now shake their heads. Watching doors that once swung wide shut so slow you can hear the hinges groan. And you're there, standing, wondering if you ever had a place here in the first place. The world didn't wait to hear my side. No, they built the gallows first, asked questions later. Justice? That's the sweetest joke of all. They don't want truth, they want theater. They want blood on the stage and a villain to point at so they can feel safe in their little seats. But here's the punchline. I played my role, smiled for their cameras, gave them what they wanted. Because sometimes the smartest move in the game is letting them believe they've already won. You see, the chains they gave me weren't steel. They were stories. Stories they told each other in hushed voices at midnight. Stories that made their world feel cleaner because they thought I was the dirt. But dirt grows things. And I was just getting started, so I smiled. I let them think they had me cornered, let them enjoy their little victory laps. Because when you've been marked guilty without a trial, you stop playing for their approval, and you start playing for the kill. And oh, they still don't know. They still think I'm the same man they tried to bury 8 years ago. But here's the truth, my friend. You bury something long enough, it learns how to dig. And when it claws its way back up, it doesn't come back clean. It comes back hungry. The walls weren't concrete. They were whispers. Headlines, pointing fingers that stabbed without touching. You think you know what prison is? Try living in one where every face is a guard and every eye is a camera. No locks, no escape. Just the constant hum of suspicion in the air, thick enough to choke on. They didn't have to lock me away. They just made the world too small for me to breathe in. Every step I took, someone was counting. Every word I spoke, someone was twisting. You start to feel it. The weight of eyes crawling over your skin. The itch in your spine when you know someone's listening through the walls you can't see. It's not paranoia if they really are watching, is it? But they'll call you crazy anyway, because that's easier, that's cleaner. That's the story they want to sell. At first, it breaks you. You try to move quietly. You try to make yourself smaller, invisible. But invisibility? That's a slow death. And one day, you stop hiding. You start watching back. You start memorizing their patterns, how they stand, how they breathe, where they slip. And suddenly, you're not prey anymore. You're studying the hunt. Paranoia. That's what they call it. I call it training. You learn to hear the difference between footsteps in a hallway and footsteps that are following you. You learn the taste of fear in the air, and you learn to love it. Because fear sharpens you in ways comfort never will. So I stopped running. Let them watch. Let them record. I gave them a show worth remembering. Because the thing about cages without bars, they don't keep you in. They keep them out. Out of the places I was building. Out of the war I was preparing. And when I finally stepped out of that invisible box, I wasn't the same man who walked in. I was the shadow they feared was watching them back. And the best part? I was. They buried you alive and made you clap for the dirt they threw. Oh, the applause was deafening. Smiles painted on faces like masks at a masquerade, each one hiding the satisfaction of seeing you sink. Friends? They didn't walk away. They evaporated, quietly, cleanly, like you were contagious. Family? They didn't scream at you. They just looked at you differently, like a mirror they were suddenly ashamed to own. And strangers? Strangers didn't need proof. They just needed the story. It's not the loud rejection that kills you. It's the silence. The way your phone stops ringing. The way no one asks how you're doing anymore because they've already decided. They hold your obituary in their minds. And every time you walk by, they read it with their eyes. You become a ghost in your own life, haunting rooms you used to own. But here's the punchline. That coffin they tried to bury me in. It was quiet in there, peaceful. No noise, no lies buzzing in my ear. Just space, space to think, space to sharpen. While they were busy dancing on my grave, I was writing the next chapter, in blood and teeth. Isolation. They think it's a punishment. They think if they cut you off from the herd, you'll wither. But wolves don't wither. Wolves get hungrier. And when you strip away the applause, the fake support, the hollow friendships, all you're left with is yourself. The raw, unpolished, unbreakable core. So I stayed buried. I stayed still. Let them think they won. Let them think the dirt was too heavy. Because the sweetest part of being buried alive is the look on their faces when you start digging out. And oh, I'm not coming up alone. I'm bringing the whole damn graveyard with me. You call it loneliness. I call it evolution. Hate is heavy until you lift it like a blade. At first it crushes you, fills your chest with concrete, makes every breath taste like rust. You want to scream, to tear the walls apart with your bare hands. But screaming is for the desperate, and I'm not desperate anymore. No, I'm deliberate. I learned to hold that hate steady, to sharpen it until it could cut without trembling. I stopped letting my rage spill in every direction. I poured it into one, like a sniper's bullet, like a surgeon's knife. Every insult, every betrayal, every whispered accusation, I fed them to the fire inside me. And that furnace didn't just burn, it forged, turned molten emotion into cold steel. Because rage without aim is chaos, but rage with purpose, that's a weapon no one survives. People think anger makes you reckless. Wrong. Anger makes you aware, hyper-focused. It strips away the fluff, the fake smiles, the useless distractions. It makes the target clear. And once you see that target, you don't miss. Not if you've been carrying the weight long enough to know exactly where to drop it. So I stopped reacting. I started calculating. Every move became a chess piece, each step a setup for the next cut. You think revenge is an explosion? No. Real revenge is a scalpel. Silent, precise, personal. And oh, it leaves scars no one can hide. Hate used to weigh me down. Now I wield it. Now I walk into every room with it resting on my shoulder, smiling at the ones who put it there. Because the thing about a blade, it remembers every hand that forged it. And I promise, I haven't forgotten a single name. And when the blade falls, it won't be loud, but it will be final. Every morning, the mirror asked me, "Are you a victim or an executioner?" And I hated that glass. Hated the way it stripped me bare. No lies, no excuses. Just a pair of eyes staring back, daring me to pick a side. For too long, I waited for someone to save me. For the truth to speak for itself. For the world to realize its mistake. But here's the truth. No one's coming. No one ever was. The mirror doesn't care about your hope. It doesn't care about your pain. It shows you exactly what you are and what you're not. And one morning I saw it clear. What I wasn't enough. Not to survive. Not to win. That old version of me, the one that believed in fairness, in mercy, in happy endings, I killed him. Right there, without hesitation. And in his place, I built something colder, sharper. I carved away the softness, the fear, the hesitation. I stopped looking for light at the end of the tunnel and started painting the walls black so no one could see me coming. That's when I realized, power isn't given, it's taken, and I wasn't asking anymore. I didn't need the world to believe me. I needed the world to fear me. And fear doesn't come from innocence. It comes from the willingness to act when others hesitate, from the refusal to flinch when the knife is in your hand. The mirror taught me that. It taught me that survival isn't about being right. It's about being ready. Now when I look into that glass, I don't see a victim. I don't see someone waiting. I see the executioner. Patient, precise, already planning the next move. And if the world wants to call that madness, let them. I've worn worse titles. After all, a man who's killed his old self has nothing left to lose. Smile in their face, while memorizing where their jugular is. That's the game. They think the smile means peace. They think the handshake means trust. Oh, I let them believe it. Because a wolf doesn't lunge the moment it smells blood. It studies. It circles. It learns the rhythm of its prey's heartbeat. That's how you win in the court of wolves. By letting them think you're one of the sheep until your teeth are already in their throat. See, everyone's playing some kind of role here. Appearances are the currency. Intentions are the debt collectors. And the ones who last the longest, they're the ones who can switch masks without anyone noticing. I learned that fast. One day, I'm harmless. The next I'm the shadow they swear they saw in the corner of their eye. You keep them guessing. They keep stumbling. Charm is the sweetest poison. You give them just enough kindness to drop their guard, just enough vulnerability to make them think you're harmless. And while they're busy feeling safe, you're cataloging every weakness they show, every flicker of doubt in their eyes, every slip in their confidence. By the time they realize what you've taken from them, it's already gone. The trick isn't just to win, it's to make them think they're winning right up until you close your hand around their throat. Predictable enemies are easy. Predictable allies, even easier. But becoming the unpredictable, that's where power lives. You're not just part of the game, you are the game, and no one beats the dealer. So I smile wider, I laugh with them, I nod at their little victories. All the while my mind is sharpening, my patience is loading, my strike is inevitable. They'll call it betrayal when it happens, but that's only because they mistook mercy for friendship. And when the predator finally shows his teeth, it's already too late to run. Disappear. Until your shadow learns to stalk. That's the move. You don't fight the spotlight. You step out of it. Let them search. Let them whisper. Let their questions rot into rumors. Because while they're busy chasing the ghost of who you used to be, you're becoming something they can't track. You're vanishing from their maps, their networks, their control. And the beauty of silence? They can't predict a man they can't see. You cut the strings they're pulling. You stop answering. Stop explaining. Stop feeding them pieces of yourself to chew on. Your life becomes a locked room they can't enter. Every step you take is behind closed doors. Every move leaves no trail. The less they know, the more they fear. Because control dies in the dark, and you've just turned off the lights. Mentally, you stop letting them rent space in your head. You turn the volume down on their noise until it's nothing but a dull hum. Socially, you let their invitations expire. Strategically, you stop showing your cards. Hell, you stop letting them know you're even playing. You move in silence. You speak only in outcomes. And those outcomes? They land like thunder. When you disappear long enough, you start to see how frantic they get without you. How desperate. How sloppy. They start to reveal themselves, thinking you're gone for good. But you're not gone. You're just waiting, listening, sharpening. And your shadow? Oh, your shadow's been learning how to hunt. And when you finally reappear, you're not the man they remember. You're colder, quieter, untouchable. They can't read you, can't reach you, can't hurt you. They can only watch as you move past them like they're not even there. Because the real power of a ghost is knowing exactly when to haunt. The hunter's eyes are never tired, just hungrier. That's the truth they don't tell you. Defending yourself, that's survival. Hunting them, that's power. I stopped sitting in the corner, waiting for the next punch. I started moving forward, quiet, steady, eyes locked on the ones who thought they'd already broken me. I studied their armor, every dent, every flaw. And once I saw the crack, I didn't stop pushing until it split wide open. Weakness isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's in their ego. Sometimes it's in the way they talk too much when they're nervous. Sometimes it's in the people they trust. I learned to sniff it out like blood in the water. And once you smell it, there's no unsmelling it. The hunt doesn't end until you're holding the proof of your kill in your own hands. The first time you turn from prey into predator, it feels unnatural. You almost hesitate. But then you see the fear in their eyes, the same fear they once put in yours, and you realize this is where you belong. This is the correction, the balance, the answer to every shadow they left in your mind. I didn't just want to win. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to see them unravel, piece by piece, under the weight of their own mistakes. That's the thing about predators. We don't just take the kill, we take the chase. We savor it. Every step they take toward the trap they don't see coming is a small victory. And when it's done, when the roles are reversed and they're the ones looking over their shoulder, you don't have to scream. You don't have to gloat. You just let them live with the knowledge that the hunter is still out there. Because hunger never sleeps. It only waits for the next scent of blood. Every scar is a receipt. Proof you didn't break. Proof you paid the price in full and still walked away breathing. They wanted those wounds to bury you, to mark the end of your story. Instead, they became the beginning of something else. I don't hide them. I wear them. Not like a victim clutching old pain, but like a soldier counting victories. Each one a signature on a contract they never wanted me to sign. I survived. Shame? That's for people who believe scars are stains. But scars aren't stains. They're carvings. They're the map of where you've been. And if you're smart enough, they're also the weapon you use next. Every person who sees them is reminded of one thing. They failed. They swung. They cut. They tried to finish you. And here you are, still standing. They say the past weighs you down. I say it builds you up. Because every scar adds another layer of armor, another shield they can't pierce the same way twice. Pain teaches, pain hardens, and the ones who've walked through fire without burning to ash, those are the ones the world can never truly touch again. And oh, here's my favorite part. They hate it. They hate that you're still here. They hate that their best shot wasn't enough, that the worst they had only made you sharper. It's not just survival. It's insult. It's spitting in the face of every attempt to erase you. So I grin. That wide, unsettling grin they can't forget. Because the truth is, they never feared killing you. They feared failing to. And now, every time they see you, they're reminded they did. And the best revenge you'll ever have is existing where they swore you wouldn't. The only verdict that matters is the one you deliver with your own hands. I stopped waiting for their gavel to fall. Their judgment was never about truth. It was about control. And control only works if you believe in it. So I threw their rulebook in the fire and wrote my own law on the ashes. They can keep their courtrooms, their headlines, their fake justice. I've got something better. My own sentence. Society will brand you, break you, bury you. If you let them, they'll decide your ending before you've lived it. And if you listen long enough, you start to believe them. That's the real execution. Not death, but the surrender before it. I didn't surrender. I chose my own verdict, and my verdict was simple. I win. No apologies, no explanations. Just the quiet certainty that I get the final word. You want fairness? That's for fools. You want truth? That's for dreamers. I want results. And results don't come from begging for mercy. They come from taking it off the table, permanently. I don't need their forgiveness. I don't need their approval. I don't need their belief. The story I tell myself when I close my eyes is the only one that counts. And in my story, I'm not the accused. I'm not the victim. I'm the one holding the pen, writing the last chapter while they watch from the sidelines, wondering how I'm still standing. So here's my final verdict, and I deliver it without hesitation. I own every step I take from here, every win, every loss, every scar, and no one gets to rewrite my ending but me. Because in the end, the only gavel that matters is the one you slam down yourself. Haha. You tried to bury me, but all you did was plant me. Now I'm standing over the grave you dug, smiling. You wanted an ending? Here it is. Me, breathing, laughing, and walking away with everything you swore I'd never touch. The final laugh will always be mine.